What's going on, everybody? Today I'm talking about cat shit again. Yes, I know it's been a couple weeks since the last time I talked about him, but I tell people when they end up on the radar, you'll be hearing me talk about them quite often. That way, y'all can get acclimated to who they are, even if y'all really don't care. But I found this to be actually quite hilarious. And I have to again shout out KG because he sent this to me. So, Catturd or cat shit is on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, basically talking about how X has turned toxic. Now, what's interesting is, remember the last video, well, the first video I've ever done on him was him having beef with Grok, the AI on Twitter, basically claiming that it's lying on him and saying things about him that's not true, even though I truly, honestly believe the AI when it comes to talking about people like him, especially when you look at the stuff that he puts up on his Twitter account. But now he's saying that the platform of Twitter has become toxic as a whole. He said lately X has turned into a toxic negative feedback loop. That's interesting coming from him, considering that's all his Twitter account projects is a negative feedback loop. He says, I get caught up into it myself, so it looks like he has self-awareness with that one. He says, I haven't been having as much fun on here as I used to. It just seems like it's a 24/7 raging argument with no end in sight. Basically, in layman terms, he can't be how he once was when Elon first signed on the dotted line to acquire Twitter from Jack Dorsey and then turned it into X. Quiet as it's kept, a lot of the individuals who are complaining about Twitter right now actually had it good when Jack Dorsey owned it. It's just the fact that they couldn't say complete outlandish things they were saying while he owned the platform. But then remember, when Elon acquired it, they said that the N-word usage went up like 500%. That means they just was flat out just saying the N-word left and right with no end in sight. Like, they just couldn't wait to say, like, that was their bread and butter moment right there. They just couldn't wait to say that word, and they did. But now he's saying it's no fun anymore. He says, I'm going to take a deep breath and try to be more positive going forward. Try to have a little fun again. Now, this could last 10 minutes or the rest of the year, who knows? He says, of course, I'll still be a smart ass shit poster. That'll never change. Well, to me, it sounds like you're still having fun, but the way that he's framing it sounds like he's not having the fun as he was once having. Now, of course, if you just go back and look at some of the posts he's probably made a year ago, they sound a little bit different. But I think it all boils down to is that they keep projecting this thing that Elon was pushing, free speech and all this, down the third. Again, I go back to the commentary that I did over a month ago, talking about or breaking down what the First Amendment actually is and how many people like cat shit don't understand what the First Amendment actually is. Like, they will love to talk about free speech and the First Amendment, but they don't know how to properly apply it or know how to properly define it, even though Google is right there. They will ask Grok anything but what they should be asking it. Instead of them getting on Grok and asking it about what's going on with them files with Epstein, they should be asking them, can you properly define the First Amendment, when it can be used, when it can't be used, how it can be used for or against me? Can you give me some examples? But they don't do that. I did that, but I didn't do it on Grok. I just did simple research elsewhere, and that led me to what it is. But it doesn't stop there, because Catturd has an alternative to where they feel they can head to spread their rhetoric. Catturd is now taking their talentless self to Truth Social. So apparently they've already had a Truth Social account dating back to February 17th of 2022. So they've had it for over 3 years now. As you can see, they have 1.63 million followers and following 304 people. Ironically, their following count is 304, if you picking up what I'm throwing down. And on top of that, they said, here is my Truth Social account. We all know Elon will suspend us all soon. That's what he does. This is where I'll be when he does. The thing is, it seems to me you were already there. Now, mind you, he created this account February 17, 2022. Elon acquired Twitter the year before. So that means he was already having a contingency plan not even a whole year after Elon got Twitter and turned it into X. he already had a backup plan immediately. But you would never know, because if you don't follow him, he never really posts anything from Truth Social. That's why I've always said for the longest, I felt like Truth Social was always just Donald Trump over there, because every time you heard something coming off of Truth Social, it always was a post from him. In case y'all didn't know, Truth Social is Donald Trump's social media platform that looks, just by looking at the screenshot of the setup where he screenshotted, it looks like Twitter. Because if you look at how if you look on someone's profile and you screenshot it and put it right next to Truth Social, it looks exactly the same. And Truth Social, of course, came out way after Twitter was a thing, because Truth Social is Donald Trump's app. That is, his app. But like I said, you always think that he was the only one on there, because every time you see something coming off of there, it's something that he posts. You don't see it from anybody else. And then when he posts this, then other people started to post their links under there and say, this is Truth Social, this is my Truth Social, follow me, and everything like that. Listen, they can talk about Truth Social all they want, but the truth of the matter is, if Elon wanted him gone, he would have been pulled the plug on his account. Honestly, especially with all the stuff that this dude has said. The thing is, Elon wants you to stay on that platform. Otherwise, he would have been got rid of you. But like going back to his initial post that he made, he said it's not fun anymore. He says Twitter has become toxic, even though he's a toxic individual himself. I mean, that's another pot meat kettle moment right there, if there ever was one. See, these individuals, they overuse and they bastardize free speech so much that they overplay their hand. They show their hand and they overplay it. So now he's about to gypsy hop from one echo chamber to another, because he feels over there he can really say what it is that he wants without being, quote unquote, not so much canceled, but limited in his speech or whatever propaganda he's trying to push. Honestly, I could care less what he does over there on Truth Social, whatever he's going to say. I really could care less what he says over here. I just think that it's funny, because now he's seeing for himself how this all works. But see, a lot of people like him think that they can't be touched on this social media thing. Like they listen, I'll put it like this: the honeymoon phase, if there ever was one, is over. One thing KG has told us time and time again over the last year, that November 5th the grifter was over. Now he feels his grift is over on Twitter or X, and now he's gonna grift over on Truth Social, even though to me it looks like he was already there based on this start date, this creation, this join date. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this man been over there for over 3 years, and you would never know. And he probably had that account on ice, and then just played around on Twitter because he felt that's where most of his engagement was. But now that he feels like everything is kind of caving in, I'm going to leave this platform and I'm going to go over there and talk my shit over there. Now, what's going to end up happening if they cracked it down over there on Truth Social? Not only will he say that Donald Trump is violating freedom of speech, because again, they don't know how to truthfully probably define it. They'll try to find another forum to do the same thing as well. I just find it funny. I just find it extremely hilarious. And yes, in the quoted post on Twitter, cat shit was getting cooked. Now, the people replying to him, most of them were bots. And that's another thing. They were calling him out. They said most of the people that's replying to you under the initial post that you made are bots. 99%, they said, someone has said 99% of your followers are probably bots, and the other 1.1% are real people. That's crazy. But that's the thing. A lot of them have bots following them. A lot of people, especially people in MAGA who have a huge following, a lot of the people that follow them on Twitter are bots. Many of them are not real people by any given measure. Now, those who were, quote, replying to him and saying what it was, those people are most likely real people. I can tell just by the way they were responding. Even some of the people that was responding under the initial post were calling him out too. So they like, we see why you're leaving. You don't have to make an announcement that you're leaving. And apparently, it looks like he already had a escape plan, because again, look at the join date. Look at how many followers he has. I would say, I don't know how many he has on Twitter, but I don't know if he has the same amount or not. I would probably argue he probably has less on Truth Social than he does on Twitter, because on Twitter, it seems that's where he was the most active at. But hey, if he leaves the platform, it is what it is. It's no sweat off my back. That's all I gotta say. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.